I will well and truly exercise.
He was known for his charismatic smile, but behind the charm, Idi Amin Dada, the military dictator, ruled Uganda with an unforgiving iron fist for 8 long, brutal years.
That is now a lesson I'm teaching the British.
No, these are the former corrupted police who have been confused by the former regime politically.
When General Amin seized power from President Milton Obote in 1971, many Ugandans believed they were witnessing the start of a new and hopeful era.
I've got also difficult in Uganda of economy.
But what unfolded over the next decade will be an era stained by unprecedented violence and absolute tyranny. By the time Amin's regime came to a close, he was responsible for the death of an estimated 300,000 to 500,000 people out of a population of just 12 million. Despite presiding over horrific mass killings and severe human rights abuses, Amin, often dubbed the Butcher of Uganda, still leaves behind a complex and polarizing legacy. To some, he remains a liberator, a leader who claimed to purge the nation of its imperialist past, a narrative deeply embedded in Uganda's national consciousness.
I am the best friend of British, and your best friend is the friend who tells you your mistake.
To fully understand Idi Amin, we must look beyond the years 1971 to 1979 to grasp the complexities of the man. We have to go back to the beginning of his story.
British actually deceived me last year, giving me £10 million. They never give up to now. When I had a really very critical problem of finance, up to now. Now I don't want that money again. And now they have given, I think every year, 4.5 million every year. But this, even if they withdrawn or they take it away, it will not marking time Uganda even 1 minute.
Born Idi Amin Dada Oumee in northwest Uganda, near the borders of Sudan and Congo, his exact birth date remains uncertain, though it's generally accepted that he was born around 1925. Amin's father was a farmer from Kakwe tribe, a group native to Uganda, Congo and Sudan, while his mother belonged to the Lugbara people. Both tribes are part of the larger Nubian ethnic group to which Amin remained fiercely loyal throughout his life. After his parents separated when he was young, Amin moved to the city with his mother. He briefly attended a Muslim school but left early, only completing up to the 4th grade. Towering at 6 feet 4 inches, Amin was a giant in both physical stature and presence. Despite his limited education, he was seen as an ideal candidate for the British colonial military. Joining the army in 1946, Amin quickly distinguished himself through his athletic abilities. He was a skilled swimmer, rugby player, and boxer.
And I will never give up. If I wanted to do something, I would never change my mind.
By 1951, he had secured the Uganda Light Heavyweight Boxing Championship, a title he would hold for an impressive 9 consecutive years. The success propelled him to a promotion to corporal in 1949, marking the beginning of his swift rise through the military ranks. In the early 1950s, Though Amin would later become an outspoken critic of imperialism, his early career was marked by his support for British control over African territories. He fought against the Mau Mau rebels in Kenya and insurgents in Somalia, earning a reputation as a formidable and ruthless soldier. By 1957, Amin had risen to the rank of Sergeant Major, commanding his own platoon and solidifying his ascent through the ranks of the military. Despite his rising military power, Idi Amin Dada soon found himself in deep trouble due to his ruthless methods. In 1962, after being assigned to deal with cattle thieves, reports surfaced that Amin and his men committed unspeakable atrocities. British officials in Nairobi later unearthed the bodies, revealing that the victims had been tortured and beaten to death. Some had even been buried alive. With Uganda on the brink of independence, Obote and British officials opted not to prosecute Amin, despite the evidence. Instead, they promoted him, sending him to the UK for further military training. In 1964, Amin and Prime Minister Obote formed a lucrative alliance, expanding the Ugandan army and engaging in smuggling operations. But Obote's growing abuse of power led to unrest among other Ugandan leaders, including King Kabaka Mutesa II of Buganda. Obote responded by setting up his own commission to exonerate himself. Meanwhile, he promoted Amin first to Major in 1963, then to Colonel in 1964. In 1966, when the parliament accused Amin of misappropriating $350,000 worth of gold and ivory, Obote acted swiftly. Amin's forces arrested the 5 ministers who raised the issue. Obote suspended the constitution, appointing himself president. Within days, Amin was in charge of Uganda's entire military and police force. 2 months later, Obote ordered an attack on King Mutesa II's palace, forcing the king to flee the country. With the king gone, Obote solidified his power, and Amin tightened his grip as the enforcer of the regime. It wasn't long before Amin seized power for himself.
I will well and truly exercise the functions of the head of government of the Republic of Uganda, so help me God.
On January 25th, 1971, while Obote was out of the country, Amin orchestrated a military coup. Ugandans, disillusioned with Obote, welcomed Amin with open arms, seeing him as a man of the people. He played the part well, mingling with commoners, marrying women from various ethnic groups, and even bringing back the body of the exiled king for a proper burial. However, behind the scenes, Amin was anything but the benevolent leader he appeared to be. He created killer squads to eliminate soldiers loyal to Obote, slaughtering thousands from the Acholi, Langi, and other tribes. His charming public persona was just a mask for his true, ruthless nature. By 1972, Amin's erratic behavior was on full display. After Israel refused his request for military aid, he turned to Libya's Muammar Gaddafi for support. This led to the expulsion of Israelis and 50,000 South Asians from Uganda, causing a severe economic downturn.
I must make sure that every Ugandans get a fruit of independence. Since actually Uganda is not yet independent, I will say that, even when the British handed over on the 9th of October 1962, the Uganda still not yet independent. Uganda will be independent after this, my decision, after I want to see that the whole Kampala street is not full of Indians. It must be proper black, and administration in those shops is run by the Ugandans.
Would you like to get all Asians out, really, sir?
Yes, they must go to their country.
Even nationals of Uganda?
If they want to go, they are welcome to go.
Amin's actions devastated Uganda's economy and tarnished his international reputation, but he remained unfazed.
What prompted the sub people if they don't go by the time limit?
I think they will be sitting like they are sitting on the fire. I will tell you this. You just wait after 3 months.
What will you do to them?
Okay, you will see.
You said you wanted Uganda.
I think they will not sit comfortable here in Uganda. I will tell you this. I must actually tell you the truth.
As the mid-1970s approached, Amin grew increasingly paranoid and erratic, showering his loyal troops with gifts while overseeing the continued massacre of his own people. Stories of his sadistic methods spread, including the macabre rumor that he kept human heads in his refrigerator and that he had confessed to cannibalism. Amin's brutality extended to the international stage in 1976 when he supported militants who hijacked an Air France flight, leading to the famous Israeli raid on Entebbe. The daring rescue mission humiliated Amin, and his retaliation, the execution of an elderly British-Israeli hostage, only further damaged his image. By the late 1970s, Amin's regime was crumbling. When Tanzanian forces invaded Uganda in 1979, it was the beginning of the end for the dictator. With his power slipping away, Amin fled to Libya, then Saudi Arabia, where he remained in exile until his death in 2003. Idi Amin's reign of terror left an indelible mark on Uganda. What began as a popular takeover ended in chaos, destruction, and horror. His story serves as a grim reminder of the dangers of absolute power unchecked by accountability. My name is Enoch Sikolia, and I am the Kenyan historian.